Hello everyone, welcome back to our cozy little kitchen. You know, on the journey of baking and cooking, there are some silent heroes whose importance we sometimes forget. One of them is the familiar roll of parchment paper. Have you ever cut a long strip of paper, placed it into a pan, only to see it puff up, curl back, and collapse inside? That's because you haven't learned how to give parchment paper a bit of flexibility. To line the sides properly, first you'll need a long strip of parchment paper. Its length should be enough to wrap all the way around the pan with a little extra to overlap. Now here's the secret. Fold the strip of paper in half. Then cut it in half. Take one half and fold down about 1/3 of it. Next, decide which edge will sit on the outside of the pan. Along that edge, use scissors to cut straight. Parallel slits, think of it as making little fringes. Each cut should be about 1.5 to 2 centimeters deep, with roughly 1 centimeter between cuts. Once you're done, you'll see an even row of fringes along the bottom edge. Place the paper inside the pan, with the fringes facing outward. This is where the magic happens, thanks to the cuts. The bottom edge can fan out easily, allowing the paper to stand upright and hug the sides of the pan perfectly without wrinkles or bulging. This is the secret to sponge cakes, or gâteaux, with beautifully smooth, flawless sides. Now that the sides are done, let's move on to the base. Let me show you a little geometry expert trick. Prepare a square sheet of parchment paper that's larger than the diameter of your pan. First, fold it in half horizontally and crease lightly. Find the midpoint along one edge. Pay close attention here. Hold that center point firmly, then start folding the paper diagonally to form a triangle. Keep folding the triangle in half again and again, always keeping the pointed center aligned. The more times you fold, the rounder and smoother your final circle will be. Imagine folding a paper airplane or an ice cream cone, till it becomes a narrow, sharp point. Now take your scissors and cut a gentle curve along the outer edge of the triangle. Make a clean, confident cut. And now, for the most satisfying moment, open the paper. A perfect circle, smooth and even, with no distortion. Place this circle into the pan. See? It fits perfectly, covering the entire bottom and creating a tight armor that protects your batter. With this combination, unmolding the cake becomes incredibly easy. If the previous steps feel a bit elaborate and you're making a cake, where the side appearance isn't critical, here's a super fast method for busy days. With a spring-form pan, release the latch to separate the ring from the base. Take a large sheet of parchment paper and lay it over the base without trimming anything yet. Then gently place the ring back on top, pressing it down over the paper in the base. Make sure the paper is stretched evenly in all directions. Once everything is aligned, close the latch. The parchment paper is now tightly clamped between the base and the sides. Finally, flip the pan over and trim away the excess paper around the edges. You don't need to cut too close. Leaving 1 to 2 centimeters is fine, or trim flush if you prefer a neat finish. And that's it. In under 30 seconds, you have a securely lined pan, ready for baking fragrant, delicious cakes. Now let's move away from round pans and talk about rectangular containers. Maybe you want to line a plastic box for a bento lunch or a loaf pan for bread. If you just stuff the paper in, the corners will crumple, take up space, and distort the shape of your cake. Don't do that, handle the corners smartly. Prepare a sheet of parchment paper larger than the pan, but fully covers the bottom and extends above the sides. Turn the container upside down and place the paper on top. Use your hands to press along the 4 edges and corners to create guide creases in the paper. Press firmly so the lines are clearly defined. Once you've formed this invisible frame, remove the paper and place it flat on the table. Now place the paper back into the pan and adjust it slightly so the edges overlap neatly. The result? A pan interior that's clean, straight, and perfectly squared with sharp 90-degree corners. When you pour in the batter, the cake will rise evenly and come out effortlessly. This method is also great for lining containers for food storage in the fridge, keeping them clean and free from odors or grease. Parchment paper isn't just for baking. It can also be used as a stylish, elegant gift wrap. You'll need a square sheet of parchment paper. First, fold the paper diagonally to form a large triangle with the base facing you. Open it. Then fold diagonally again, this time making the top triangle smaller than the bottom. Next, take the sharp right corner of the triangle and fold it over to the left, so the top edge runs parallel to the base. Do the same with the left corner, folding it over to the right, overlapping the previous fold. At this point, the paper will look like a little cup or planter. Gently open the top, and there you have it, a small, sturdy paper bag that stands on its own. Drop your cookies inside. The soft, translucent white of the parchment paper makes whatever's inside look elegant and high-end. We've baked. Lined pans and wrapped gifts, but parchment paper can also be used for decoration. Want your food photos to look more artistic? Try making this simple leaf. Prepare a small square of parchment paper. Fold it accordion style, making small folds about 1 centimeter wide, flipping the paper back and forth as you go. Keep folding until you reach the end. Pressing the creases firmly and evenly, this step determines how beautiful the final piece will be. You'll end up with a long strip of zigzag folds. Use a glue gun or paper glue to apply a small amount to the inner sides. To secure it, take a toothpick or bamboo skewer and place it at the fold. Fold it in half at the center, and you'll start to see the shape of a leaf. Press them together and clamp the stick in between. Hold it briefly until the glue sets. Once it's secure, gently fan out the folds on both sides. You'll have a stylized palm leaf with neat, even veins, translucent white, and elegant. You can place it in a small glass jar as a photo prop, or stick it directly into cakes. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below the video. See you in the next one for more useful tips.